On Saturday, September 7th, starting at 12 noon in Lower Willow Park in Bennington, the Turning Point Recovery Center, which is based in Bennington, will be hosting Soberfest, a day of music, fun, and activities like fly fishing, tie-dyeing, yoga, and more, culminating in a community dinner and a candle lighting. All are welcome, and there's no admission charge. It's intended to be a celebration for those who struggled with and overcome, or who are overcoming, or who want to overcome substance abuse, and a day to enjoy fun and good times without them. You can have fun and not need alcohol or other drugs to enhance it. So we met up with Margay Diamond, the executive director of the Turning Point Recovery Center, to learn more about Soberfest and recovery and what's underway around that in Bennington County.
Well, we are super excited to be putting this event on. It really was born out of wanting to honor the spirit of our community and also provide people with an eye into the kind of fun that we can have even while we're sober. We really want to encourage people to come together. A lot of the work that we do is in partnership and collaboration with community members and organizations, and they will all be present at this event. So it's a wonderful way for us all to come together, celebrate how we can support each other in our community, and actually do it without any substances. We are going to have 7 live bands, so there'll be music on the hour, every hour starting at 1. The event opens at noon. We have, I think, 34 vendors and community partners who will be tabling, selling some crafts and offering some information. We have a large family village that will be run by Sunrise, and we'll have lots of activities for kids. We have someone making balloons and juggling. We also have a wellness village, which is a big component of Turning Point. We really want to make sure that people have lots of tools to take care of themselves and can have fun while they're doing it. So we'll have a whole area where there'll be various yoga teachers doing different styles of yoga every hour, and also exposing folks to some different types of wellness. We'll also have hand drumming, fly fishing demonstration, and tie-dyeing t-shirts. So there's going to be lots of activities and fun throughout the day, and then about 5:15 we will have a community dinner, which is free to anyone who comes in. This event is free to the public. It is by donation, so we're not going to turn anyone away. We appreciate the donations to support Turning Point in the event, but we really want to encourage everyone to come and have a good time.
So I guess what trends are you seeing then in terms of substance abuse here in Bennington County? Drugs, alcohol and other drugs.
Sure.
Opioids have gotten a lot of attention, but my understanding is that really the big part of your job is really alcohol recovery work.
It is, and that's surprising to some people. I think we get tagged towards the drug abuse problem, and there certainly is a problem in that arena. Primarily what we're seeing in the drug space is a lot of crack and cocaine and fentanyl. There really isn't any one substance left on the drug front, on illicit drugs. Most things are layered on top of each other, so we're really in a polysubstance epidemic at this point. People ask for one thing, but they're getting something else. So it's very complex within the drug abuse area. But predominantly what we see, and this surprises people, 2/3 of what we see is alcohol-related abuse. And this is not as immediately shocking to people. It can be hidden for a long period of time, but it is certainly making people quite ill, and it's a long, slow burn. So we see a lot of repeat ED visits for folks who are struggling with alcohol. And part of what inspired us to have Soberfest is our experience with folks who are struggling with alcohol and the lack of spaces in this community where one could go and hang out and have fun, like at a concert, without having exposure to alcohol or feeling like you need to join in. So part of creating this space is to, we will actually have mocktails and non-alcoholic beer for folks. So we're really trying to include everyone in this space, but we're going to do it without alcohol.
What makes stopping an addiction so hard? I suppose it depends on the type of substance we're talking about, but in general, I'm sure a lot of people think that it's a question of willpower, or you just don't have the desire to do it. It's just a matter of flicking a light switch almost. There's more to it than that.
There certainly is. Everyone at Turning Point is in recovery. So we have all been through this journey ourselves. That's part of what makes our work so unique, is that we are using our lived experience along with our training to connect with folks and to share with them what are some of the ways they can find their way out of this dark hole. It isn't going to be the same answer for every single person, right? So it's important for us to get to know the individual. We have, with either drugs or alcohol, there is a physical dependency. That's just a fact. Your body becomes addicted to these substances, and it goes through withdrawal when it doesn't get them. And that withdrawal is extremely unpleasant. People have likened it to the flu. I would say it's way worse than that. The bigger issue, frankly, than your body's reaction is what happens mentally. So alcohol and drugs artificially pump in pleasure chemicals into your brain. And they pump them in at such a high dose that your body actually stops producing things like dopamine that you need to feel okay. So when you stop using these substances, your body isn't now producing that because you've been pumping it in. You stop doing that, you have no feel-good chemicals. Endorphins, dopamine, the things that we need to feel okay are not there. It takes time for the body to begin producing those. And during that span of time, that is a deep period of depression, anxiety, hopelessness. And it's really critical that people get counseling, that they're able to connect with someone who understands what they're going through, and that they start to learn tools to cope with things like anxiety and stress without grabbing for their substance of choice. So we have found that substance abuse largely stems from a maladaptive coping response to trauma. And it could be a big trauma or a little trauma, right? It could be my mother died when I was young, or it could be I am in a domestic violence situation, and this is how I'm coping. Most people tell us who are in the throes of their addiction that the thing that their addiction does for them is that it gives them peace. It gives them a sense of relief. It gives them a way to check out of a hard situation that they can't figure out how to resolve otherwise. And so our job is to help people to peel back the layers of the onion and to figure out, why were you using this? Why were you drinking so much? Why were you using heroin or crack? What was good about it? Because there had to be something good about it if you keep doing it, right? And what you'll usually find is the answer to that is, I just needed some relief. I couldn't take it anymore. I needed to check out. And so then we start to ask, what is that? What are you checking out from? What is so wrong? And if we can get an understanding of what those things are, connect someone to therapy if that's what they need, but start to help to build a lens around what they do have in their life and to latch on to the positive things, to be grateful for what they have around them, and to start to do the hard work of repairing their life. Most people who've been using drugs and alcohol, it's not a 1 month thing, right? It's not a 6 month bender. It's been years. And people, as a result of coming out of this, have a lot of things to deal with. Legal problems, relationship problems, people who've cut them off, won't speak to them anymore. They may have become homeless as a result of that and lost their identification, so now they can't even get any benefits. So there are a myriad of things that happen to people that seem almost insurmountable when you sort of come up for air and you say, okay, I'm going to stop doing the thing. I'm going to stop drinking, or I'm going to stop. You come up and you're clear for once, and there are a lot of problems to be fixed in your life. And so I think that's where we can come in, is that we understand this journey and we know that recovery is possible. We know it. But it takes resources, it takes support. And with that support and those resources, people can make a better life for themselves.
So you anticipated what was going to be my last question, which was, what are some of the services that the Turning Point Center offers? Were there anything, I guess, for someone who's beginning to feel like they are at that point where it can't go on the way it's been going on and they need to make a change, what do they do? Could they just call or come here to your office in Bennington and talk to somebody? Is that how that starts?
We're here Monday through Friday. We also have coaches on call 24/7 with the hospital. So if anyone was to arrive at the hospital for some kind of substance use issue, we would be paged to offer support. We also have a website, which is tpcbennington.org. And we do have forms on there. So if someone wanted to be more confidential, they could fill out a little form and ask for help that way. And we'll give them a call. We have 22 people on staff here, all who are in recovery from either drugs or alcohol. We made the journey, we got to the other side, and we are now happy to turn around and reach our hand out to try to help other people navigate this for themselves. It's really important to us that we're empowering other people. We don't fix people, we don't save people. They save themselves. Right? This is very personal work for people. We are here to ride shotgun and to offer as much support as we can.
Again, the Soberfest celebration will be held at Lower Willow Park in Bennington during the afternoon of Saturday, September 7th, and starts at 12 noon. Several bands will be there and much more. It's time to party again. For the GNAT-TV News Project, I'm Andrew McKeever.